3WideRacing League has been racing since March of this year, but it's the second to last race of this season tonight and the final race of the 3WideRacing League Dirt Street Stock Triple Crown. Welcome to Sim TV. My name is Kyle Hire, joined tonight by Vinny DeCuna for 75 laps. We're on the brand new Lernerville Speedway, Raceway, whatever they call it around here, Vinny. Lernerville, Pennsylvania. And Vinny, this racetrack, it's so much different than every other dirt track in the service. Going to pose a huge challenge to these drivers. Brand new to everybody, so no one's got it figured out.
Yeah, this is, and like you said, it is pretty different. Quite a bit of banking at this track in comparison to most dirt tracks, which are pretty flat all the way around, but there's a lot of banking, especially up towards the top side. Speaking of the top side, there's no wall around, I would say, 80% of this track through after turns 1 through all the way around back to turn 4. You can see just if you go off down a hill, and good luck to you.
Or up a hill, and you end up getting thrown to the weeds. But you see Drew Eisenman working his way around. His qualifying is underway at the moment. And again, you mentioned this is a high bank dirt track here as well, Finney. There's a lot of banking around here. You see Tate Lytle just going over the edge of that. Liam Sheen sitting in pit lane. Richard Hines on course as well. So if you jump up over the edge of that berm, you're going to go for a pretty wild ride. So the goal tonight is to try to keep yourself on the course. That's really the only goal for a lot of these drivers.
Which is interesting because remember last time we were here with these guys at what track was it?
Last week?
Yeah.
Kokomo.
Oh, that was Kokomo. Oh, what was the,
Kokomo, not Koda.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Wait, so
the Dirt Street Second Koda would be one hell of a race.
If that was Kokomo, then what was supposed to be? I forgot what was supposed to be the last race instead of that.
Oh, anyway. I don't even know.
Yeah, I thought, yeah, so at Kokomo, we saw the guys hit the wall quite a bit out of some of these corners. Granted, because Kokomo is so small in comparison to this track. But these guys really can't rely on the wall to kind of catch them. They have to be careful. If they step over that berm, it's goodbye and sayonara.
There's no leaning on the fence this time, no wall riding. It's going to be a totally different race to watch tonight. And it's going to be an interesting race to watch because of the point situation. Johnny Thomas leads the Dirt Triple Crown points by 1 over Matt Grunberg and Tate Lytle, who are tied for second. Then it's Kyle Hanshaw, who's only 4 points back from the lead. Michael Henry, 6 points back from the lead. So we have 5 drivers all within 5 or 6 points of that top spot. Johnny Thomas and Matt Grunberg, I think, are the obvious ones to win here, but Tate Lytle's been really good too. So what's your thought? Who do you think is going to get this thing done?
Well, I'm just kind of looking up and down that order. I gotta say, I think Tate Lytle, he ran a perfect race pretty much at Kokomo last week. I don't see why he can't do the same tonight. He hasn't put down a qualifying, actually, as you say that. Matt Grunberg out there on the track as well as Johnny Thomas. Lytle's still not on the track, though.
Matt Grunberg was really quick in practice leading up to this, and he was getting very good at balancing the car on the edge, especially in turns 3 and 4. But 1 and 2 has been a little bit more challenging to keep the car on track. You get kind of greedy at the exit of 2, and we mentioned that berm. It's a drop all the way down that hill. It's very difficult to get yourself back on course. So especially later in the race, as the grip level moves up towards the high line, you're going to see drivers get maybe a little bit too close to that berm and step over.
I'm curious how the cautions work here. If you go flying off.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it'll throw a yellow for a car off in the dust, but I guess we'll find that out tonight. We didn't have a whole lot of cautions at Kokomo. You see, whoa, balancing on the edge of control and up and over, and there is a little bit of runoff, but it's a way slow way to run a lap. But he did go to the top of the board. He's sitting on pole. Michael Henry goes second quick. Johnny Thomas, a disappointing 6th place qualifying effort for him. Kyle Hanshaw in the 22. Here's a driver we have expected to be better in this Dirt Triple Crown, and I would have thought he would have had a couple wins by now, but he's just kind of hanging out and hasn't really quite been where he wants to be this short season.
Yeah, when we see him flashing with his internet there, had some trouble. Here comes Dave Hunt on the 53. He's getting ready to set his time.
So Tate Lytle in the number 56. He actually did go out and run a qualifying lap, but it didn't count it. Oh. And wow, there goes Dave Hunt.
That's what we call full send.
Yeah, we're going to go back and take a look at that. Oh, man. We're watching Dave Hunt?
Yeah.
Look at that. Off into the weeds. So qualifying is mostly complete. A couple drivers still rolling around just for fun right now.
And Kyle Hanshaw, with his time, he's jumped up into 2nd place.
Wow, he actually did a great effort. His second time out was a 19.118. That's good enough to run P2. Qualifying is complete, though. It's Matt Grunberg on top, then Hanshaw, Henry, Eisenman, Hackathorn, the rest of your top 5, then Hines, Thomas, Zielinski, Hunt, Sheen, and Lytle. Now, Tate's got some work to do. Again, only 11 drivers in this field, so it won't have to be a monumental effort, but he's only going to have 75 laps. There was a concern about fuel, so they shortened up the race or 70 laps, rather. They shortened up the race a touch. Halfway will be at lap number 35. So gridding up here. I guess they do grid on the...
oh, hey.
You were wondering before if they gridded here or on the racetrack, but they actually do grid in the pits. That's a cool little feature there.
Props to iRacing for that.
That looks great. So just waiting for a couple more stragglers to get themselves on the grid, and I love the inside pits. I think it's super, or the outside pits rather. I think it's super cool. I don't know what the technical reason was for not having it before, but now we have it, and now it looks really cool.
Now I'm curious if they're gonna add it to
other tracks.
Yeah. Actually, no. Now that I think about it, technically this is not the first track that has outside pits. Actually, the Wild West.
Well, right. Well, that was everyone's. I mean, I don't think it was a technical issue. I think they just did it for race control reasons. But whatever reason it was for, clearly isn't valid now, as they got all 11 drivers.
Go back and retroactively do the other ones.
Hey, I'm with you. It's just a little thing that makes it kind of fun. You know?
Yeah.
So the other discussion is the turn 4 wall here, Finney. And that wall is just out of frame here. The camera's actually mounted to. The pace truck did a little bit of a leap of faith over the edge. That wall is going to step out and get drivers tonight. When you run around a track without a fence, and then you have a fence in turn 4, your drivers are going to find it, they're going to hit it, it's going to hurt.
Yeah, and that's going to make you drive turns coming off of turn 2 and coming off of turn 4 differently, because turn 2 you can get a little bit more greedy because you don't have that wall. Obviously, you can't overstep your boundaries or going tumbling down. But definitely in turn 4, you have that wall to stop you, and it's only there.
70 laps, 25.7 miles here at Lernerville. And again, this is the first ever race at Lernerville right here on Sim TV. So another first. At first it was the Nationals. That was the first time those cars have ever raced on the network. And now the first time we've ever run this particular dirt track on this network. Just came out with the most recent iRacing build about a week ago. And 3Wide very quick to adopt it on the schedule. And again, one last look at your points picture of Johnny Thomas, Matt Grunberg, Tate Lytle, Kyle Hanshaw, and Michael Henry, all in the fight for the championship tonight. I think really, when any of those top 3, all they got to do essentially is beat the other. I think we're going to see it get pretty racy up towards the front. Pace truck pulls off, and through turns 3 and 4, it's going to be the 54 out front. Green flag flies, and we're racing at Lernerville. Whoop, Eisenman's going to go for a ride, as will Zielinski.
And they actually spin out on the banking on the outside. Richard Hines is struggling to get back on the racing surface.
They're back rolling. We stay green up in front, though. Matt Grunberg's got the top spot. Behind him, Johnny Thomas and Tate Lytle. That's a fight for 5th. And again, Tate Lytle starting at the tail of the field and trying to claw his way forward so that he can ensure himself a chance at a championship tonight.
And already up into 5th place, too. Some contact with the 83, and there we go.
Wow.
First victim.
Way off, and that answers the question about the cautions. And Dave Hunt,
technically, he spun
fair enough
going off.
But Dave Hunt has gone for a loop. That looked a little bit egregious there, if I do say so myself.
Yeah,
Let's go back and take a look.
Yeah, they were rolling doors quite a bit, and this track is fairly big.
I think they were having a spatial disagreement here. Let's take a look.
Apparently.
Maybe there was some contact going into the corner that... Oh, yeah. Push and a shove, and the 83 is going to turn on down, and whoops.
Nope.
Yeah, that was no accident.
And actually, I don't know if you'll see it in this shot here. If we look at Dave Hunt on board. Maybe?
Well, you can't even see the racetrack.
You might see it here off to the right. No, you can see it.
Also, I didn't know those caution lights are pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
Didn't notice that before either. So, Dave Hunt goes around for a pretty quick loop off the bumper of the 83. We're going to re-rack him, restack him, go again, and get a restart going here.
I always find it interesting how some of these, a lot of these dirt tracks, in fact, it's literally just traffic lights they use for the car.
I mean, there's so much effort goes into the dirt tracks, and they look amazing. I just wish we could get some of the same effort at other tracks in the service.
Yeah.
And you're quite literally just a traffic light. Good looking one, though. Lights are off. And Kyle Hanshaw is going to have to try to take down Matt Grunberg from the inside lane. Then Matt Hackathorn in the 00 in a Blurry Motorsports car tonight. To the inside, that's Michael Henry in the 88. Then Johnny Thomas and Tate Lytle.
Yeah, let's hope that Lytle kind of bunch the fuel back up after he gained quite a few spots, so you can get a few more here on this restart.
All right, field's going to roll through 3 and 4, and again, it's the 54 on the outside lane in control. Green flag back in the air, racing again at Lernerville. Contact, that shoved Liam Sheen all the way back there, side by side for the lead, and Grunberg's going to squirt out in front out of the exit of 2, and everyone else behind him single file. See Tate Lytle just get right in front of the 83.
They're going to slot himself in line. Tom is going to throw it to the inside. We saw him down below at Kokomo, trying to run that inside line, trying to do the same thing here. Here comes Lytle for 3rd place looking to the outside of Henry. It's like 4th place.
Yeah, for 4th place, that's Michael Henry. That's got it. The 56 on the outside. He's got a nose in there. It's a risky line to run with the driver underneath you, but he's going to try to make it work. Up in front, Grunberg under attack from Hanshaw, but the 22 can't get the run off the corner.
Yeah, that's killed his entry, and now you see the 00 of Matt Hackathorn trying to make something work.
With the exit of 2 now, everyone trying to get braver and braver, getting up to the edge of the racetrack on the outside. And Grunberg trying to set sail, and I can't imagine that 22 blinking isn't distracting for everybody behind.
Yeah, no, it is extremely distracting when especially when you're trying to focus on your line around here, which these guys think have to do so more than any other dirt track because if you overstep it, you're off the surface. So you really want to concentrate on that. And you have the 22 flashing about, and Hackathorn's also got to worry about potentially not hitting Hackathorn, Hanshaw, with the flashing. Levi
Zielinski down way on the bottom of the racetrack.
That's
and he's going to slide up, and there goes Eisenman off course again, and he's gone, just like that. Slid straight off the course. The 2 and the 53 going to get together in 3 and 4. Rewind for a moment here. Dave Hunt riding that outside groove. Levi Zielinski towing the line as well. No challenge up front yet. It's still the 54 of Grunberg. Everyone ripping the berm up there. And we haven't really seen anybody hit the turn 4 wall yet, which is surprising considering how much people were struggling with this in practice.
Everyone kind of sorted out to 3/4 of a second gaps. So everyone kind of in an even single file line. The top 5 drivers, and here comes the rest of the field.
Pretty even split from the top 5 to the rest of the field. But last time through, it was Matt Grunberg who was the 2nd quickest car on the racetrack. The quickest was the 88 of Michael Henry, who's lost his spot.
Oh, there goes Hackathorn.
Off course in turn 4, and he'll struggle to get it back on. A bit of a wall contact there, but he's back. He just lost a couple spots. Dave Hunt in the background clobbers the fence in turn 4.
He hit it much harder than Hackathorn did.
So a couple of casualties in the turn 4 fence that time through. There's Liam Sheen all over the back of Hunt now for 9th spot.
Oh, and Hunt's gonna step over again.
Almost, he did get it back on. A bit dicey there for just a moment. Now for 3rd place, Tate Lytle has worked his way from the back. Started in 9th up to 3rd now as Hanshaw's way off course. He'll lose 3 spots and tuck back in line in 5th. So now Lytle up to 2nd from where he started in 9th, and we'll see if he can close in on Matt Grunberg at all. Dave Hunt looks like he is off the course. On for a ride. Here's a look at what happened to the 53. Riding behind Liam Sheen. Just drives off and... Oh, that might have looked like he might have done it on purpose.
Might have been trying to hit to the bits.
Well, he found it. Henry putting on a valiant effort here to get by Tate Lytle. And again, looking at the points, he's pretty far out of it. Needs everyone else to have some bad luck. But Tate Lytle doesn't. I mean, he just needs to go up there and pass the 54, and he'd be in position to win this thing.
Yeah, that's going to be the tough thing. So now he's got some clean air to work with. Trying to catch back up to Grunberg.
Oh, look at Lytle hanging out that right rear just over the edge of the cushion.
Last lap through.
Yeah, Lytle was quicker by a couple of hundredths. And Henry was the quickest of the top 3.
Both these guys catching up to Grunberg.
Again, I'm just waiting to see, once we get towards that halfway point, how much grip this track will lose in the upper grooves and how much it'll force people to search for a different line that's not quite so close to disaster here. Richard Hines, Levi Zielinski, they're side by side for 6th.
Yeah, I don't know, because I mean, I would say that at other dirt tracks, but here, I mean, with the bank that you got in that outer groove, I think it might, even when it's worn out, I think it still might be a little bit better than the line down low.
Whoa! Comes some contact out of 4 between the 6 and the 2. Liam Sheen tries to get out of this fight as well.
Take advantage, look to the outside of Richard Hines. Can't get it done.
It's all going on way behind the leaders. They're actually going to pop into the shot here in just a moment. There's the yellow number 54 who is leading this race. Then it's Lytle, Henry, and you see Thomas in 4th. And you see Johnny Thomas exploring a slightly different line here, Penny. At least he was in 1 and 2.
And he's just trying to see, you know, I guess it was experiment gone gone wrong. He didn't really gain anything.
Ooh. He threw it in there, and he's trying to roll that bottom, and he's not that much slower than the leaders, but he's not really gaining on him either. Michael Henry putting on a great show trying to get by Tate Lytle. These two went at it last week at Kokomo. I think it was the 88 that ended up getting the better of Tate Lytle in the final moments and ended up winning that race. About 10 laps to halfway, Grunberg still holds a 2-second lead.
Here's when Henry, if he's going to make a move or is he just kind of comfortable riding behind the 56, because I don't really think it'll be a much better situation if it was reversed.
Now they're both losing time to that yellow 54 as the dust flies up. Zielinski off course. That's in turn 4. Henry's trying. I think he's trying to get by him. He might feel like he's a little bit faster than Lytle right now. But it's challenging to pass a guy when you're running the same line. He's going to push the issue on the outside. Lytle goes to the bottom in turns 1 and 2. We've seen a couple drivers try that inside lane now.
Actually, Lytle looks like he opened that gap back up, so I think it's actually starting to work for him.
We've seen no one trying the bottom in 3 and 4, but 1 and 2 has been a different story.
Yeah, Lytle ran below a 19-second lap compared to Grunberg's 19.2. Lytle's 19.0, so he ran 2/10 faster by running that bottom. He actually could continue to try it.
Yeah, I think still 3 and 4 is one line, but down in 1 and 2, it's a different story. I don't think we really figured out which line is better, and that time through, Tate Lytle was a little bit faster than Grunberg again, and still going to the bottom.
He's going back down there. This could be the thing that gets him back in this race. I'm curious when Grunberg's going to figure out what he's doing and then do the same.
Whoa, Michael Henry might have pushed a little bit too hard out of 4, lost a bunch of ground.
Yeah, they just set the right rear, and only really the right rear, over the berm, and lost a lot of time doing so.
Car is filthy from following Tate Lytle in his tire tracks. He started third and been unable to go anywhere with it. But Tate Lytle has closed that gap down 0.8 of a second in the last couple laps. It's only a 1.2 second difference now.
He's making up a lot of time running this inside lane. And you can see all the loose dirt that's in that middle lane. He's taking advantage of it, and Grunberg is really losing out.
Yeah, I think the 54 is going to figure this out here shortly when he sees that 56 closing car in the wall. It's Zielinski. It's the concrete on the inside.
And we remain green.
And Grunberg, he has now found the bottom of the racetrack, so will this help the 54 gain his lead back, or is he just dealing with some lap traffic here?
I think even if, I was going to say, even if he did start using it, he's dealing with some lap traffic, Lee Machine, and then also has Hackthorn up the road, as well as Richard Hines.
Forced to go to the bottom here, and this is a line that he might not want to be taking. Although he did pick up some pace last time by. Sheen ripping that outside roof. We start seeing the glassy surface, the reflections coming off the dirt. The dirt's getting packed down and turned really hard and slick. And now, look, the 54 goes back to the high side, and Lytle goes back to the bottom and still gaining time.
Yeah, I think he's going to be hoping that he's able to get by Lee Sheen.
We haven't seen anybody really successfully use the bottom in 3 and 4 yet, so an experiment for Lytle this time. He's going to slide up in front, make contact with Sheen. Sheen will get out of the throttle when that 56 get on through.
And both of them are ripping the bottom lane. Henry tried to go down there, but missed the corner. Whoa, almost gets into Liam Sheen.
He's trying to find the magic that he had earlier in the race. There's Kyle Hanshaw. Oh, that was the 83 of Johnny Thomas that was off course at the exit of 2.
He was on the wrong side.
That is Richard Hines that they were driving on by right now. So both these guys started up towards the front. Now they're 5th and 6th, or 4th and 5th rather. They've dropped off some pace as the top 3 have begun to pull away now. Halfway here at Lernerville in the final race of the 3WideRacing League Dirt Triple Crown. It's been Matt Grunberg out up front for 34 of our 35 completed laps.
Grunberg is getting really close to the outside there.
Oh, Tate's really pushing that now. I just have to wonder how much that cushion moves around, especially in 3 and 4. Are they extending that racing line, or are they kind of shaving it off to where it's going to be non-existent towards the end of the race? We've yet to really see how much that cushion's been affected.
Pretty even. So Lytle's advantage kind kind of taken away, although he has made up a huge amount of time. Cut the lead in half.
And now we're getting into some more competitive lap cars. That's Matt Hackathorn in the 00 that started here in the front of this field. So it's going to be a little bit trickier. Now he's going to pull over and let Grunberg on by. So that point now moved. 0.8 of a second is the gap to the lead. Johnny Thomas ripping the high line in 1 and 2, trying to find some speed back in this 83. Otherwise, he'll find himself way out of the championship, even though he walked in here as the points leader.
Yeah, he really needs a caution to come out to bunch everyone back up so he can have a shot. Otherwise, definitely way too far back to just drive up there.
0.6 of a second. Lytle's still closing, and that time by it was almost 0.3 was the difference. Michael Henry, he's off in turn 4, and he's been struggling down here on that end of the track. Great minds think alike.
Yeah, I think Grunberg's Achilles heel has been going through lap traffic. Every single time he's caught a lap car, it's slowed him down and allowed Lytle to catch back up. Although I think Grunberg's got some clean road.
Dirt road. Clean gravel, clean clay up ahead of him.
Yeah.
And that time Lytle was a bit slower. It was a 10th off for the 56. 30 laps to go, just under. No significantly close battles on the track. Lytle still hunting. Now the middle groove through 1 and 2. Haven't seen anybody try that just yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's where Grunberg's been beating him. He's been in that loose dirt that you can see kind of collecting down. It's started collecting down in 3 and 4, so I'm curious if someone wants to try that. A lot of it's piled up there with a huge pile of it in the middle groove 1 and 2, and it's kind of hard to see here, but Grunberg's kind of riding it on exit and then Lytle charging it on entry.
Bit of a bog on corner exit for Lytle's motor. That whole middle groove is essentially unused territory, but is it no man's land there? Is the banking too shallow for him to hold that line? I mean, again, the middle groove is often kind of no man's land because it's not the shortest way around, nor is it the way you can carry the most momentum. Because we have a caution. It's Richard Hines in turn 4. And clumsy climb over the banking. Get back on course. Second caution of the night. See how this one happened here. He was following the 83 of Johnny Thomas and just stepped over the line a bit too much and looped it around.
Yeah, almost beached the car on the berm.
So, second caution of the night. This is going to be great for Johnny Thomas, who is really struggling, but no one's going to come down and pit, so I think, again, Tate Lytle loves to see that because he's going to have an opportunity just to throw a slider on the 54 now.
Yeah, though I will say still Grunberg the better car. Whoa, and almost some contact there. Oh, there was some contact with Hackathorn. He's trying to get around Grunberg, got the piece of the wall.
Is Hackathorn crabbing now? Or is
I think because he hit the wall, yeah, I think he might have just broken his car. Yeah.
Yeah, looks like he's
pitching
got
the
that.
wrong way.
He might not care so much. I mean,
Actually, they don't pitch at all. But yeah, I think...
Here's a look. Throttling up to get the free pass here and rolls around the outside. Grunberg kind of filled up that outside groove, and ooh, that was a pretty hard hit there. It seems satisfied. We're driving around with it regardless. Something tells me that these cars aren't typically supposed to drive all that good anyway.
Yeah. I mean, they're typically supposed to go more straight than anything else, and he's kind of veering a bit.
You know what I've always wondered?
Also, before you say that, look at the pace truck.
I noticed the lights are all weird. That's something's wrong with that. It looks like a hand. So I was gonna say, what happens to, like, I wonder how much over the course of a year a dirt track digs itself into the ground. Oh, you ever wonder that? Because they kick up all this dust. Like, they're moving a lot of earth, right?
I don't know how often they...
Like, they got to fill it back in eventually,
I would imagine they would do it. You know...
Someone's got to enlighten us how that works, because...
I don't think they would...
They displace a lot of dirt, don't they?
I guess. Beats me. I have absolutely no idea how these kind of tracks operate. If it was me, I would just chuck some dirt back on after every race.
I mean, you got to get it from somewhere. I mean, it's clay. It's not just brown dirt. I mean, I guess it is. Depends on your soil. All right, let's try this again. It'll be about 21 laps to go. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. For the lead. Door banging across the line. Lytle's going to send it.
I have the advantage here going along the bottom. We've seen some guys be able to make a pass.
Oh, the 88's going to get hooked, and they take the
go.
22 with them. Off course in the exit of 2. For the lead, Broomberg throws a slider. Lytle's going to cross him up.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely not going to work. And now Lytle's going to have an advantage. We've seen the bottom definitely be the better line in 1 and 2.
They should have the 54 cleared, but Broomberg's have a spectacular run at the exit of 2, but no. Lytle clears for the lead.
Throw another slider again into 3 and 4. He's going to be really persistent about this. This is really all he can do for now.
He's going to have it, but not quite enough to hang on. Door slam it and get at the line.
He has a better advantage now.
Caution.
Before caution out.
This time I was trying to see who it was, and I didn't really get a good idea.
No, not close.
I don't know who that was for or what it was for. Let's see if we can get into the session events here. Oh, it was Tate Lytle. Is he around side? I guess he was around sideways enough that triggered the caution. Yeah, that was the incident.
That's some bug or something.
That was what at least ATVO had recorded as what caused the caution.
I can't. That's got to be some bug or something with, I guess, maybe.
I didn't see anybody else spin, and I looked back, and we have a session events column that tells you what actually triggered the flag, and it seems that that was what caused it. So that time was recorded as 10:06. Yeah, 10:07 now. So.
Weird. I wonder if they might not have it set properly, or I guess like the angle that.
Oh, you know what? I actually might. Here's another look here. It might have been Liam. No, that wasn't it. That was just now.
Click on that one.
It's going to show 22, but it was the 56 that triggered it. Yeah, I mean that's all it was. Huh.
Oh, actually, I saw Richard Hines in the background, and he got into the wall pretty hard. I wonder if he had a little something.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's head back up live as we got the 1 to green, and it's Grunberg and Lytle out front again. 15 laps to go. Predictions, who you got?
I think Lytle's got it. I think he definitely showed on that run. He's got what it takes to be able to make something happen. I believe it actually is. Is it the control car?
I don't know who's the control car. I think it's the 56. Yes. Green flag back in the air. 15 laps to go. Behind him, collisions and colliding. The 00 and the who's that? The 88 that got together.
Well, if Lytle was the control car, he got a very poor restart.
I actually don't know who was technically the leader at the line, but here comes Johnny Thomas. Gonna throw it down the inside in 3 and 4.
Yeah, we're talking about guys running the inside. That's your man right there, the 83 of Thomas. Trying to make something work. He's gonna have to fall in behind Lytle for third.
Behind him, it's a big hornet's nest in turn 2. There's the 00 and the 22.
Oh, there goes Hackathorn and Handjob.
Oh, he's going to try to get it back on course. Slides across the racetrack. Keeps it rolling. Up in front of them, though. Tate Lytle's off course.
Oh!
Wide. The 2 smashes the fence in 4.
And Lee Machine around. Another caution going to come out.
Oh, that was a vicious impact for the 2. Got that thing shortened up a couple feet in the nose.
Oh, I think he's done.
Going to pull that car off immediately. This all started with the 56 and Tate Lytle, and I think he just ran off wide. He was already off heading into 3. Yeah. Then he's going to try to come back on course, and Richard Hines, unbeknownst to him, just caught up in this, and watch this. Oh, driver's side impact into the concrete.
And right on the left front. I think that's pretty much what did it then.
I think he might have, no, he missed the soft barrier. Ooh. 00 did a great job slowing that down. So, it'll be about 10 laps to go now. And now Johnny Thomas, who was out of this points race earlier, look where he is. He'll be second for the restart. And
right back in this thing.
Matt Grunberg has to beat Johnny Thomas by, well, he probably gets a point for leading the laps and probably the most laps as well, I would imagine. So, it's probably going to come down to a straight-up race between these two.
I think, yeah. If Grunberg gets the points for most laps led, yeah, I think it's pretty much going to be a race between these guys.
Whoever finishes in front of the other, Thomas or Grunberg. And I think Tate Lytle's effectively out of this thing now unless he gets really lucky the way things work out. Lights are off around the racetrack. There'll be a 9-lap shootout to the end of this race. Gruenberg up front has led 58 of the 61 laps. He's been absolutely dominant tonight, but Tate Lytle was giving him a run for his money, but made a mistake on the most recent restart. He'll be banished to 5th place this time around.
He's still not out of it just yet, though. If we get another quick caution that can really upset the order of this race, we'll have to see here.
Back to the restart. Gruenberg, the control car on the bottom, fires off immediately. Johnny Thomas tries to get the power down. Going to use the banking to help him get that power to the ground. Here comes the 22 of Hanshaw up the inside trying to do something with it.
Yeah, I think Thomas kind of wasted a lot of momentum and time up there trying to set that run up.
Michael Henry up the middle.
Yeah, that opened the door for Henry now to go to the inside in his 88.
Kyle Hanshaw throwing a slider to the bottom of the racetrack. If Gruenberg can get free and clear, he'll be all set, essentially. And now they got to deal with the 22 yet again. Michael Henry was off course in the weeds earlier tonight, fighting hard for a podium spot side by side for 3rd.
Simon Thomas on the outside. They see Lytle in behind, nowhere for him to go. Meanwhile, Gruenberg driving off in the distance.
7 laps to go. It'll be 6 next time by. The battle right now is for 3rd. Tate Lytle banished to 5th on the most recent collision. Oh, might have a car get together there. Thomas is going to be wide if he doesn't corral the car back. On course he does. Lytle fighting so hard for every spot he can try to get.
Yeah, he's trying to get physical with Thomas and working on his favor. Here comes Thomas with a move to the inside of Henry.
Yeah, couldn't quite complete that pass either. Not enough send in that car to get it done. Coming back to 5 laps to go.
And just loses all the run he had on exit. That eventually opened the door for Lytle to try to get 4th place. Where there you see Lytle down on the bottom.
That flagman just motioned 5 to go. I feel like he put his hand up. I gotta keep an eye on this because he might be doing some cool stuff like that. Gruenberg out up front in the 54, coming back around. 4 laps to go now.
There's no way to put that in.
I'm going back and checking tape. I swear to God he did.
Might have just been his idle animation.
Domination tonight in the dirt street stocks. Started this year off in the Truck Series and Cup Series, ended up winning both those championships. The only championship that he did not win thus far was the K&N Triple Crown that we just finished up last night. There will only be one more event for 3WideRacing this year. There'll be an Indianapolis race coming up next Sunday.
Yep, and we're now 2 laps to go in this race for Gruenberg.
Might have been adjusting his hat. 54 out in front by 1.3 seconds. No other significant battles to take you to. For Matt Gruenberg, it'll be another 0.4 of a mile around to pick up a victory and win the championship in the 3WideRacing League Dirt Triple Crown. White flag in the air. Doesn't matter if it's a short track, a speedway, a dirt track, or road course. Matt Gruenberg is going to beat you at it. And out of turn number 4, the 54 Jegs machine is going to pick up another win right here at Lernerville. Tate Lytle rallies for 4th. The car spun around Michael Henry in turn 4.
Yeah, that might be why Lytle's got up into 3rd place.
And I'd have to imagine there was... He's actually a lap down, so this might have been a lap... Well, he just ran off a lap prior. But celebration time again for Matt Gruenberg. He's been so dominant this year. I can only imagine what there is to come for this man. Here's a look at your race results. Rolling through your screen right now. 70 laps, 4 lead changes for the lead. How about Lernerville? This is a pretty cool little racetrack. We saw a lot of people moving around lines that we typically don't see. Usually the top side is the only place he can make a move. Tonight wasn't quite like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I really like the banking. I think that really makes the racing here really fun. Easily is now become one of my favorite dirt tracks to come to.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to be back in just a moment to talk to Matt and more in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back live to Sim TV. We're here now with third place finisher Tate Lytle. Tonight, Tate, you had to go out there and potentially win this thing to get it done for the championship. Couldn't quite do it. Some contact and a slide off course there in turn 4. Talk to us about your battle tonight up front and slipping away from your fingers there in those final moments.
Yeah, it just really wasn't my night. I ran a lap time in qualifying that would have been good enough for pole, but for whatever reason it didn't count it, and had to start in 9th and raced our way up there, and then I don't know what the hell the caution was for. Me and Matt were racing. I thought I had the nose, but he gave it to him. I knew Hanshaw had spun off a 2, but it was 2 laps before race control through the yellow, so I don't know what the hell they were doing there, but just just wasn't my night. Good win to Matt. Well deserved. He's always fast on really everything, but especially dirt, so good win to him, but just really questioning what they were doing.
All right, Tate Lytle. Frustrating third tonight. Tate, thanks for talking. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, guys.
Moving on now to Kyle Hanshaw, who finished second tonight in his machine. Kyle, tonight, not quite enough for a victory, but you got close enough there at the end for a second place. Walk us through your night and this track here in Lernerville.
Yeah, I just wanted a shot at it there at the end and got that chance. So I was fortunate enough to have that. I started off decent, qualified good, then screwed up there in the middle of 3 and 4. Drove over the lip there, and just a mistake on my part. Just was going too fast, and got it corrected and bounced back after a caution or 2, and I was beating and banging on some guys trying to make my way back up through there, but I had to go because it's a championship race, so got to do what you got to do, and hell with the consequences.
Walk us through how this racetrack changed, because this is one of the first race tracks I think we've seen really go to bottom preferred towards the end of the race. How did you notice this track change over time, and how does it differ from a normal dirt track?
Well, you really got to be disciplined on the top side for sure, whether it's fresh or slicked off, just with the no guardrail. But the top groove was dominant for the first half of the race, and then I started making my way down and working that bottom groove, and I saw John was going down there as well, and we were just working that bottom groove in, and came in there nicely for the second half of the race, and then it started slicking off a little bit. You really couldn't get much ground gained in 3 and 4 because you would just bog down so much. But in 1 and 2 it was the preferred line for sure, and then top side of 3 and 4. But it was really tricky up there once it started slicking off towards the end of the race. It's definitely a driver's track. You really got to be disciplined and keep these cars wound up for sure, because momentum is key.
All right, Kyle Hanshaw, second place tonight. Nice job, bud. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, guys.
Moving on now to Matt Grunberg in the number 54. Got it done tonight, Matt. A good battle between you and Tate Lytle. It got a little bit rough there for a couple of moments, but ended up prevailing in your number 54. Walk us through your night and holding off that 56.
Well, started off making it a little easy on myself. Got the pole and was able to control the race there. I knew the top side was going to be pretty quick. We ran the top side for a while, and then I noticed that Tate was making up some pretty good time, and I tried to look in my mirror to see where he was making it up at, and it was he was trying the bottom in 1 and 2, so I moved down there, and it seemed to stop the hard charge that he had for a while there, and then ran into some lap traffic, and then Tate ended up getting a little closer, and then ultimately another caution came out there around 30 or 45, I think it was, and then I started on the high side, and I quickly learned that the starting on the high side on the restart was not the way to go. Almost lost the lead there to Tate, and I guess a controversial caution came out a little later. I guess 2 people got into it, and I kind of threw the caution a little late. But me and Tate had a pretty good race going on until that caution came out, and then started on the restart on the bottom side from then on out, and that seemed to help out a lot. And maybe it's where I can manage to lead a little bit better than starting on the high side. So all in all, it was a great night, and glad to get the win. Makes up for last night.
2019 has been a spectacular year for you, Matt, so I want to wish you congratulations not only in the Truck and Cup Series championships, but the 3WideRacing League Dirt Triple Crown as well. It's been a great year for you. Look forward to seeing you around again in some capacity next time. So congrats. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you. This is actually the championship I most won. I really like my dirt, so.
All right, Matt. Enjoy it. We'll talk to you later. Have a great night.
Thank you.
All right, Finian, well, that's going to do it for us tonight as we conclude our first ever broadcast here at Lernerville Speedway in Lernerville, Pennsylvania. Finian, your thoughts again? This racetrack pretty fun, but what about the racing? Some beating and banging there a little bit towards the end.
Yeah, some really good stuff. Seeing these guys trying to look for drastically different lines, trying to one-up each other. It looked like that outside lane was going to pretty much be where most of these guys ended up for the day. But we saw some guys playing around with the inside and even the middle line, just trying to find any place and get some grip. We saw Grimberg and Lytle going at it, just trying to outdrive one another.
That's going to do it for us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night for, it'll be Elite Modifieds from New Hampshire at 7:35. They'll be on the Speed 51 Network then. Grid Life and Fuel at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on Sim TV. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you later.